Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Murashana, good to have you here. A few remarks. I think as concerns the priorities that you have set yourself, one could hardly subscribe to any other priorities. So I think that would have surely the backing. And I think that if you look at the TRAN committee, and especially the transport part of our work, the transport sector, you can see that these two priorities that you have, in fact, mutually penetrate. Because on one hand, transport can be and is one of the engines of growth and therefore also employment, but the question of security and safety is very much related to it. So I think that it would be also good in the future to see how the financial means that will be allocated both to safety and security can also be utilized in a manner that would be related to transport. One example, airports. I think that that is clearly an issue, not just because of the terrorist attack here, but obviously there is, I would say, a heavy burden in front of all of us, including the airports, how to tackle it. And also it's an issue where we don't want to complicate just the life of people that are traveling, but also facilitate. I think that there are ways how to do it, and maybe in this respect one can also envisage what I called the penetration. Now, I do appreciate the announced increase of funds. Of course, especially for CEF, 8.7, I think is good. But we need to see it on the background of the decrease of the previous times. So I think that we still have a certain room to cover, but I think that that is, of course, a positive sign. Now, the question really for me is, I would say maybe in a way of comparing the Interrail, which started off as, I'm sorry to say so, a bit of a mega, and I would stop here, I will not finish the word, but a mega project, let me put it this way, which I'm not sure that was to contribute to education of the young people. I'm not sure that it was to contribute, to the single European transport area. I think that it was, in fact, in some way discriminatory, because we speak just of one mode of transport, the one that has all my support, but I think that this is also something that we have to take into account. So I think that here we are investing, or we are to invest funds into something that has a strong political dimension, we all know it, but really has to meet the criteria that I've just mentioned, and also the ones that you have mentioned, and that is that it cannot be at the expense of other successful projects. But if I were to compare this with a decrease of 8 plus minus % for Galileo and EGNOS, then I must say that this is unfortunate, because for me Galileo and EGNOS is an investment into the future, which again has the transport dimension, question of services that we have not sufficiently exploited, and again safety and security. So that decrease on the background of Interrail adventure, I must say that that would be unfortunate. But I'm sure that you are getting the message from me and from our group, even though in a limited format, subscribing to the criteria I can follow. The rest, Ms. Murashana, I think that I had 2 or 3 other points that have been raised apart from one, and that is, I think Mr. Toshenovsky raised it as well, the private investment. I would say we have a real opportunity still to explore the question of blending of different financial means. And I think that this is something that we should, for the benefit of developing the sector, focus at more in the future. Thank you.